Hello Gemini, and welcome to my channel Inspiring Life Changes. Welcome back to those of you who have been here before, and welcome to those of you who have come across to find out what it's all about. My name's Colette, and the reading I'm doing today is a reading for Gemini, Sun, Moon, Venus, Rising and cusp energy of Gemini. And if you don't know where any of those placements are Gemini, there will be a free natal link in the description box down below for you to go and check that out for yourselves, because it's always good to have a bigger picture of what's going on. And if you know where your moon is, or your rising, or your Venus, or even if you are a cusp energy as well, it means that you can then go and check out the corresponding reading that goes along with those planets for the signs as well, not just on my channel but also on other people's channels that are out there as well. So today your reading is very interesting, Gemini. There's a lot of interesting energy in Gemini. Of course, we've just had the total solar eclipse take place in Gemini as well. We have Mercury retrograde still in Gemini as well, which will be continuing until the 22nd, I believe it is, when Mercury finally stations direct. And I think Mercury's been having quite a big effect on all of us at this time. As a Gemini, it is kind of, I'm seeing it kind of reflected in your reading, I think, which is quite interesting as well. But I'm starting the reading off with two overall energy cards, which in themselves are very interesting as well. You've got the Six of Pentacles and the Seven of Pentacles. So one is about success and one is about failure. I'm going to turn it up that way, you'll be able to see it saying failure. And this one says success, but the failure one is actually in reverse as well. And what I'm kind of getting for both of these is that it's down to you, Gemini, as to where you put your focus of attention, as to which one is going to be the outcome in a way, which one you are going to put most of your focus and whether you're going to believe that whatever it is that you're trying to do. And I think that there is something at this time, because it's kind of here in this reading, that you are trying to bring together, and you don't know at this point in time if it's going to be a success or if it's going to be a complete failure. And so you may be kind of backwards and forwards between both of these energies. And when you feel the success energy, it's really very exhilarating and very it lifts you up, it makes you feel good, because this is victory as well. So it makes you feel good. But when you feel the Seven energy, it equally takes you down to a place of like not believing in yourself, of kind of like, oh, it's never going to happen, it's just not going to be a possibility, there's too many obstacles in the way, too much to do, all that kind of thing. It's like your head starts spinning. So you're kind of in between these two energies, I feel, at this time, Gemini, which for a Gemini, and with Mercury going retrograde at this moment as well, it kind of all makes sense, because it is all very logical and in the head. But this is also being earth energy, the stone energy here, is about something in the real world. So it's about something that you're trying to achieve in the physical reality, in your life itself. So that's followed by the first card, and I'm doing the Celtic cross reading today. And that's followed by the first card, the Page of Pentacles. So that's another kind of indication that this is about a new or a young idea, something that you have kind of, you're wanting to bring into the physical world, into your reality. As a page, it is a young energy, so it's not fully matured, it's not something that has actually reached that success point at this time, but it is kind of, I feel as though it's kind of heading in that direction for you. And you, like I say, you kind of fluctuate between the two of like, yes, it's going to be a success, and then it's like, oh no, it's never going to be a success, it's never going to happen. But the Page of Pentacles, if you see there, he's got this pentacle in his hand, and in some decks of cards you see him actually kind of burying it in the ground, in the earth, to kind of make it into something more. So it's about looking ahead into your future and thinking, right, I'm here in the now, and I can only do what I can do in the now. So, but in the now, you can plant for the future. It's a time to prepare, is what's coming through here, actually preparing yourself for something else much bigger and much greater that you are kind of working towards at this time, Gemini. Over the top, though, we have the Emperor as your challenging energy, your blockage, if you like, which could also be to do with the Seven of Stones or Pentacles, which is saying, for me today, this is coming through as either, for some of you, it's going to actually be a person in your life. It could be an authority figure, it could be a parent, male or female, somebody who's very kind of strong in their willpower, in their ways of thinking. They're very direct, very like they know best is what's coming through, like I know best. And this could be an energy within you that is kind of holding you back. This could be something that you may have kind of taken on board yourself, this kind of energy of not allowing you to grow and achieve in your own way is also what's coming through here. Because you have the Page of Wands up above you, what's in your head as well. And the Page of Wands, to me, again, it's a young energy, but it talks about creative ideas. And so having these two pages together, both kind of young energies that need to grow and mature and experience things. It feels as though this energy here that is blocking you and is covering this at this time could have been an energy of like this person not necessarily supporting your ideas. Almost like an energy of being, and I don't think it's deliberate, I don't think it's something that they would deliberately do, but almost like trampling on your dreams or your ambitions, or your, like, almost like it was all too much of a fantasy for this particular person, which I feel is now kind of become an energy within you, which is why I feel as though it's also that Seven of Stones over there as well. So it's like when you get into that headspace, this is more like the Six, and when you get into that headspace of success, it's kind of, this swoops in and kind of says, ah yes, but, and that's when all of the doubts and like the self-doubt of you not being able to get beyond this, almost like a yeah, that voice in your head that rises up to remind you of all the reasons why it's not possible. But I feel as though it does come from an authority figure outside of yourself, but it may also be something that is now you've taken on board. Gemini. Particularly, as I was saying, you have the Page. So again, there's two of these energies, which is really interesting. Because there's two, like Gemini, the two twins. And that actually comes out again in a bit as well, which is an interesting read. So yeah, the Page of Wands, creative ideas, something that I feel that you are in the process of creating, making happen, bringing into the real world. But there is this energy which could easily, because if you think of the Page of Wands as being like a small flame, like a match that can easily go out before it kind of catches light on something else. It's like that fire that is just at the early kind of stages of catching light and actually kind of growing into a bigger bonfire kind of thing. That's symbolic of the energy. So I feel as though it's at that stage in your head where you could kind of, by your own thoughts again, you could kind of what's the word I'm looking for here? You could influence it, or somebody outside of you could influence it. So you have to be very careful at this time not to take on board, I feel, other people's views, beliefs, criticism. Like it may be a very down to earth and very kind of grounded energy, this Emperor. And they may kind of not be, it's very kind of a traditional energy in a way as well. Like doing things a traditional way. And you may not be doing something in a traditional way. You may be feeling inspired to do something completely differently. In a totally new, untried for you fashion. Because you have the World card moving away. The past energy here. And this is where the twins are coming in again. And when I saw this, I thought, oh, that looks so like a solar eclipse. It's not funny. And you've just had, as I was saying, this solar eclipse take place. So we've just had, you in particular, Gemini, have just had solar eclipse take place in your own sign. Solar eclipses are all about change. They're all about something that's shifting, moving, changing. And the World card itself, which is what this card is also about something ending in order for something new to begin, which is also these twins down here as well, the kind of ending and beginning energy of something. But of course, there is really no actual kind of, it like all flows together. So there's no real cut-off point as such, which says, oh, that's the end of that cycle and now this is the beginning of the new one. Although the solar eclipse, when you look back, maybe later down the line, you may realise that the solar eclipse that we just had played a huge part in what is happening in the future in your life. But something is closing out. Something is ending a cycle. A big change, big shift into some new energy is coming through. Or has already occurred for you. For some of you Geminis, it may already have happened. And underneath, in the subconscious realm, we have the High Priestess, who is the epitome of the subconscious realm. It's where she lives, it's where she naturally belongs. Intuitive, understanding, very emotionally intelligent energy. And it's at the very root of this situation, shall we say, of the reading. So it feels as though it was something intuitive that sparked something. It was like you deeply were feeling something. You were deeply aware that this was something that was right for you, Gemini. It may not have been right for everybody else, but it was right for you. You knew on a really deep level that whatever it was that you had to do here, you had to do. Or you are having to do. You are in the process of doing. And she's holding this book in her hand. Also, interestingly, she's also in between these two pillars as well, which again is very Gemini energy. There's a lot of twos appearing in this read for you today, Gemini. 2 pages, the 2 twins, these 2 pillars on both of these cards as well. Which again for me is representing, like, it's the shadow and the light, the dark and the light, which is also again the success and the failure energy here, as I was saying. And it could also be as well the reason that this person who is very much more grounded in the real, in the reality of what they can see, what they can sense and touch and feel and understand on that level, is not really understanding where you are coming from here, Gemini. It's also the masculine and the feminine energy as well, although it's not quite the Empress. There is a deep feminine knowing in this. Doesn't mean it has to be you have to be a female to understand that. Masculine or feminine. Intuition works for either. It's not something that only one gender is allowed to have. So the energy you have moving in and what you're going to have to be dealing with in the near future is the 2 of Swords, which is a card of decision making. It can also be a card of being stuck between 2 ideas, 2 ways of doing something, 2 worlds, which could also have something to do with this card here as well. Also, these 2 energies, again, like I said, there's a lot of 2s in your reading, Gemini. It feels very dualistic, and like choices are really important at this time, is what I'm getting here. Like the choice that you decide to make. And because the swords are a mental energy as well, it could also have something to do with this energy again, and like what you say to yourself again, like these 2 separate energies of success and failure. Which one are you going to focus on is down to you. Where you put your energy, where do you decide? Which is one of the really big things about this solar eclipse that we've just had, has been, it's all about choices. And it's also about what we say to ourselves as well, as to whether we kind of lift ourselves up or bring ourselves down. And talking of that, we have the King of Cups here in reverse. So you could be in a situation, Gemini, where you feel as though you have to take on everybody else's emotions and feelings on board for this. Because when it's upright, it's a place of emotional strength. Even though you have the High Priestess, who is also a very intuitive, watery realm, psychic realm energy, like knowing something, you know it on a really deep level. You may not know why or how, you may not be able to verbalize it, but you know it. And the King of Cups in reverse, or the King of Cups in general, is again that kind of watery realm. He is the signs of Cancer, Pisces and Scorpio. And the three water signs are ruled by planets, so are very kind of flowing and transformative in their own way. Like the moon rules Cancer, Neptune rules Pisces, and Pluto rules Scorpio. So they're all very transformative types of planet. The energy itself is very transformative. So you could also be going through this kind of transformative phase at this time with the King of Cups energy as well. But it does feel as though it has something to do with you not necessarily focusing on your emotional needs at this time, Gemini. That your focus is elsewhere. It could also be that emotionally you're not available at this time, because your energy is elsewhere, because you're very focused on bringing something into the real realm, shall we say, into the reality, into the physical world, that you are having to take a back step emotionally here. So it could be either way. Again, for some of you it could be a case of being overly worrying about other people's feelings in all of this. And for some of you, you may just not be available emotionally. But following on from that, we have the Magician, which is almost like an older version of the Page energy here. They're both holding this wand up. And I also found it interesting as well that you have the Page there, and also the King of Cups in reverse. Because these are all the elements that the Magician himself works with. He works with all of the elements of, you see on his table, he's got, and in his hand he's got the wand, he's got the cup which is glowing there, which is the emotional input, which you may feel at this time with the King of Cups as well. You may feel as though you're being drained on an emotional level here, that it's taking a lot out of you. But the Magician is upright, so that's a very positive sign. It's kind of saying that even though this is an emotional, draining experience possibly for you at this time, it's going into something that is going to be incredibly transforming, again, is what's coming through. Incredibly, like, again, it's kind of this sun in the background as well. I'm seeing that same kind of symbolic, like the light shining on this. Things are progressing forward for you. So he's also got his sword there. And he's got a pentacle as well. Because the sword is the mind, it's the thoughts, which, as I was saying about this earlier with the 6 and the 7, it's about the energy that you put into it with your mind is going to create the outcome. So your mind originates the thought, the thinking process, the wand, the creativity gets involved with the idea of it, and then the emotions kick in and it feels good. So it's something that you want to achieve or make happen. And then it all comes down to whether or not we can bring in that balance of believing that we can do it, because doubts will always kick in. But if we can bring our thoughts back to the realm of it is possible, I can do it, which is what this magician is saying for me here. It is definitely something that you can achieve here, Gemini. But again, like I was saying, it does come down to that choice, that decision of where you're going to focus your energy most of the time. Most of the time is what's important. Because we do, like I said, we all have our doubts. We all have those moments of like, oh, it's not going to happen. But then it's like, you know, how deep do we go down into that realm of the subconscious, of listening to those voices, which can also, the High Priestess can also, because she's ruled by Neptune, she can also be to do with the past energy as well, like conditioning, things that we've been told over and over again. She has a book in her hands as well here. So on some level, it kind of seems to me as though you're in a place, Gemini, where you're trying to move beyond like the traditional idea of something, going with your gut instinct on something. Because what we also have in your hopes and your fears at this time, and this may be where you are getting kind of unstuck, is the Chariot, which is saying, when it's in reverse, that it feels as though something isn't moving forward. And it may be a very slow progress. It may just be that it is moving forward, but it's so slow that at this time you're not actually seeing any results, or believing that you're seeing any results, or that anything is changing. Like the scenery around you, what I'm getting here is the difference between driving in a car where everything kind of flashes past you really quick, or driving literally like in a horse and cart where things are a lot more slow and you have the time to kind of take things in and process them. And again, this could also have something to do with this too as well, this kind of discernment. Also to be discerning about things at this time as well is coming through. But the Chariot is basically about feeling at this time maybe that you don't have control over your life, that something else is driving that control, that you're not the one in the driving seat. It could be, like I was saying, it could be this energy here of feeling that almost like you've been taken over, or your life's been taken over by something that is putting you in a place where you don't feel as though you have that control. Which could also be the Emperor energy as well. But I don't feel that so much with the Emperor energy. But this is just a hope and a fear, so it's not an actual reality, but it is one of those things that you maybe also to do with, like, you know, if you do get to that point of success, will you still have control of your life? Will you be in the driving seat, or will it be that this, whatever this is, this success is going to be, is going to kind of take over? And as the last card that we have here, again, is the Six of Stones, Six of Pentacles, Six of Coins, however you prefer to call it, Six of Earth. So there is this success. It is there. I mean, it's come out twice as an overall energy card and also as a outcome card for you, Gemini, which is why I feel that you are on the way to actually achieving, even though, like I was saying, you may not feel it at this time, because it may feel to you as though everything is moving really slowly and you want to speed things up. But some of the words, actually, when I was doing the meditation, I forgot about this, was it will come to you. So I don't know if that's going to make any difference, if that means anything to any of you Geminis out there. But the words I got was, stay where you are, it will come to you, which could be this Chariot energy as well. Maybe you are thinking, should I push forward with this? Do I have to make more effort, put in more action, take control? So again, it could be kind of decisions and choices. But I think a lot of it is down to where you focus your energy and your thoughts at this time, Gemini, which is going to make the difference to the outcome, which, according to the Six of Pentacles, is going to be success. We have over the top of the page of Pentacles and the Emperor card, you have the Eight of Cups. And the Eight of Cups traditionally is about leaving something behind. Again, it can be about going down to the depths of your emotions as well, which could also be this King of Cups energy here too. There may be something that you've had to leave behind in order to move forward and get to the success that you're hoping to achieve here. It did come out in reverse, so again there could be a feeling of not wanting to go down into the depths emotionally, kind of walking away and just hoping that you can just put it in the past and that it's just going to stay in the past. But that may not be the outcome. Because the octopus here is holding on to all of these cups. He hasn't actually left any of it behind. He's still very tightly holding on to everything. So there may be a situation that you need to take a deeper look at. And it has come out over the top of this page of Pentacles and the Emperor energy. As I was saying, this could have something to do with that conditioning, blocking your energy, this strong, dominant figure in your life that may have had your best at heart, but that could also have kind of squashed any of your own, am I getting like beliefs or ability again, believing in yourself, knowing that you can do something, knowing that you are capable of doing something. And I don't feel that it was malicious, at least not for most of you. I don't think it was done, yeah, I just feel as though it was done in a very kind of maybe overly protective manner. Again, male or female. Could be an energy of wanting to kind of keep something, keep you safe at some point in your life, Gemini, that has kind of stopped part of you maybe from developing and growing. And again, coming back to that kind of belief in yourself. So there may be a need here to kind of go back and take a deeper look at that. With the Eight of Cups, not letting go of any of those cups, which kind of represents emotional situations in our lives, all being held onto, or emotional experiences that have had a long-lasting big effect on us, usually from our childhood. And a page kind of representing childhood energy. And over the top of the Page of Wands, we have the Four of Swords. It did kind of come out on the slant, which is a bit difficult to tell with round cards. But sitting in a pyramid, again, it feels like a protective energy with those four swords at each of those corners there. Four Swords energy is about time out. Can also be to do with healing. If you see behind her, there's all those chakras rising up the back. And the Page of Wands relates to the three lower chakra energies, the red, the orange and the yellow, which also relate to our earthly connection, because it's all about survival. But it feels as though it could also be to do with you taking back your own, is how it's kind of coming through, taking back your own creativity, your own inspiration, not allowing other people to, like this pyramid, I'm seeing it as this kind of protective energy of when other people are kind of trying to, not attack as such, but when they're maybe saying, oh well, you know, that's never going to work, that's never going to happen, why don't you do this instead, or that kind of thing. It's kind of feeling like with each of these four swords at each corner that you've kind of made yourself a protective space with this pyramid in as well, and it's like you're not open to other people's influence is what's coming through here. Or at least that's where you're aiming to get to at this time, because it did kind of come out on a slant. But I feel as though you're working towards that, Gemini. And we have the Priestess of Swords in reverse, which is the Queen of Swords energy. Or actually could be the King of Swords energy. But it's coming through again with this kind of protective energy. It feels like a situation, because it's to do with this world card. It's come out with this world card, which was to do, I feel like, with the solar eclipse that's just happened. And again, these dualistic energies. And the Priestess of Swords, because it's swords, is all about the mind. And Gemini, you are an air sign. You are, this is your energy, but it is in reverse. Again, male or female, priestess, queen, king. But it feels to me as though it's something that you kind of has because it's got this owl here. An owl represents, to me at least it looks like an owl, yeah, it is an owl. An owl represents wisdom, but it's in reverse. So it feels as though you haven't listened to your wisdom, or at least in the past you didn't. At least in the past you listened. It feels like you were just listening to your own, like your head, like the logical side of yourself, like it had to make sense, it had to be right. Like it had to be like, you know, this equals this type of thing, because Gemini is all about the information and the data and the kind of making sense of everything, putting everything together to kind of understand it logically. And there is nothing wrong with that. But I feel as though it didn't satisfy you, it didn't lead you to a place where you were fulfilled, emotionally fulfilled, is how it's coming through. Because it's upside down. And all those dots, like I'm seeing all these dots around on this cloak as well that she's wearing. There's lots and lots of little dots and kind of buzzing around her as well. And it's kind of coming through as all this like information and all this too much, almost like being bombarded. By the logic, by your own mind. And you may have felt that very strongly at this time as well, with this solar eclipse. But it feels, especially because it's upside down as well, that it just kind of took you to a place that wasn't fulfilling. It just feels like kind of cold, snowy, icy, kind of very kind of logical, clear cut, but at the same time not very, there's no warmth. It wasn't a warmth, it wasn't a warm situation. It wasn't something that, it just feels something that wasn't feeding your soul, is how it's coming through. And we have the the Ace of Swords, again in reverse. And again, I'm getting that similar kind of energy from this Four of Swords here as well. More logical. But again, in reverse. And it's come out over the top of the High Priestess as well. So it feels to me as though there was a situation where something kind of did a 180-degree turn, where you went from this logical place of like pure logic, of almost like just it has to be logical, I can't understand it from any other point of view, to suddenly kind of being very much in the feeling realm, in your intuition, in your understanding of like connections on a bigger level. It was transformative because you've got this butterfly down here as well. So there was something very transformative about it. And I also feel that it kind of opened the world up to you in a new way. And the reason I'm saying that is because this sword is going, again, like this is why I'm getting this similar energy from this Four of Swords. Because it's almost like this sword here, shooting right the way up the chakra center here. Like opening, like something kind of going beyond like the third eye energy in a way, kind of like really blasting open and totally, it just feels like something that was totally opened you, awoke you to something completely new, a new way of, because it's an ace. And it may have seen at the time, because it's in reverse, it may have seen at the time that this wasn't a good situation, or this wasn't a good experience that you are having, Gemini. For some of you it might have been, but because it's in reverse, I do get a feeling that this could have been, for some of you, a bit of a shock to the system maybe. Weren't expecting this. Because there's real like charged energy here as well. It's like this over here is her hands are kind of a glow there as well. It almost feels like tapping into something, tapping into your own internal like chi energy, or yeah, that's what's coming through, like in a really big transformative way, which at the time it may, like I said, it may have been quite alarming, shocking, awakening, like it could have also been quite kind of like disturbing, or like the energy could have been so intense. For some of you, you might possibly have thought you were going a little bit crazy. But it opened up this whole new world, is kind of how I'm seeing it here. Something completely new, a new way of connecting with things, a new way of seeing the world, understanding the world, being in the world. It also feels a bit like a kind of warrior energy as well, a warrior-S energy, but awakening that fire within you, that kind of inner fire, is also how it's coming through here. And we have the Daughter of Cups over the top of the Two of Swords. Page of Cups energy. So now you've got another cup, another page here, sorry, as well. Another young energy, an emotionally young energy. Again, a decision. With the Two of Swords here, the decision to put your energy in one place or in another place. And here it's kind of saying that this is much more about the emotions again, going with the emotion, the internal world rather than the external world. I also get a sense of healing in this card as well. And also a sense of like just enjoying what you're doing what you want to do for you, like your fulfillment here. This isn't necessarily about anybody else. Page of Cups. Again, like I was saying, young energy, but it's also an energy of self-awareness, kind of early stages of self-awareness. Of filling up that cup, your own cup. Because this green thing that's coming down here, in between the other green thing, is a waterfall. And it kind of looks as though there's actually a turtle there as well. And there's a cup on top of the turtle. Turtles in Native American Indian, I'm just trying to remember what they symbolise. I think turtles symbolise Mother Earth. And again, it feels like the self. Like symbolically, that this is about you taking care of you, your needs on an emotional level. Possibly before you make any decision. It could also have something to do with what I was saying about it will come to you, rather than you having to go out and find it or seek it or go anywhere to make something happen. But it does come from this place of your believing that you can, that it is success. It is going to be successful. That whatever it is that you are trying to achieve here, whatever you're trying to bring into this physical world, there's also a sense of, as well, of this Daughter of Cups, of almost like it's not like a new beginning, but it is almost like a how can I put it? Like a sense of again, to do with connection, connecting with what's around you, enjoyment. Like nature, there's a tree here. It's like it just feels as though like there's an acceptance an acceptance of you. A healing and an acceptance, which I also feel with this card as well, like this protective healing that you're doing up here. But this is very much kind of in a protective kind of pyramid, almost like you're having to kind of keep other people's influences out. Either on a kind of mental level of not allowing other people to, yeah, to influence you in your thoughts and your life and your way of doing things. Whereas with the Daughter of Cups, it feels as though this is more of a place of acceptance and relaxation and like less stress, like reaching a place of kind of feels like enjoyment. Like there's a much more kind of free energy to this than there is to either of these two. Like these feel much more, what's the word? Like a lot of thought process, a lot of kind of like, yeah, just logical thinking, a lot of thought process, a lot of kind of maybe backwards and forwards about things, but a lot of mental disturbance, I suppose, in your head, whereas this feels much more just like a freedom to enjoy. And over the top of the King of Cups, we actually have the Lover's energy. Which again, we've got two here as well. Again, for Geminis, the masculine, the feminine, the balance, bringing things together, which is how I'm kind of seeing it here. And I don't think it's so much about a lover's energy as such, as it is about being, I feel, being kind of your own like with this king, as I was saying, you know, it's like emotionally you've kind of cut people off, or you are over emotionally involving yourself, like giving too much of yourself in a situation. And it could have something to do with lovers. For some of you, it could be a partner. But it feels more as though it's about you. Again, it kind of, for me, has something to do with this Daughter of Cups energy as well. With this 2 cups here, it feels like something kind of being balanced within yourself here. Like it feels like it's a sense of you not feeling that you need to be anybody else's partner to be whole, is how I'm seeing this. That you are whole within yourself, and you're kind of coming to that understanding that you don't have to please everybody. It's not about pleasing everybody. It's about being whole within your own body, your own mind, your soul. is how it's coming through. Like a body, mind, soul connection. Just for you, Gemini, kind of thing. And over the top of the Magician, we have the Six of Wands. Now, the Six of Wands, it's a card of victory. It's also a card of being seen, which is very much the kind of image on this card here. But when it's in reverse, what am I getting here? It is very similar actually to the Magician energies, kind of how I'm seeing this. It is very electrifying and very kind of, she's got like all these different, if you see here, she's got all these, she's got her arms split. She's got four hands there. She's also holding all these different tools as well. Like she's also kind of manifesting is how it's coming through. And there's also, when she's upside down as well, interestingly enough, there's also like a peace symbol behind her with this red line coming down. Again, that could also be chakra energy as well. And there's all this fire kind of behind her as well. And I don't think it's as easy as saying, oh, because it's in reverse, it just means that it's the opposite of victory or success, or it feels almost quite like hangman-like as well, in the way that she's kind of hanging upside down, almost like reaching a new understanding of something. Again, about herself, again, he or she, it's not the gender. I'm only saying she because this is the deck of cards for the Mother Goddess Peace deck. Yeah, it feels kind of hangman-like and kind of very open, very exposed, nothing to hide, very it's feeling very kind of sure of what, even though it's in reverse, I'm not getting a sense of it being, it just feels like things are upside down, or literally like the hangman, like new perspective, like seeing things from a different way. Different understanding, like really kind of tuning into something, really kind of connecting with something. And I don't feel as though it's working against this. If anything, I feel as though it's adding to this energy here. Again, there's a sense of kind of acceptance and open, like just this openness to new ideas or the way of doing things, or it's almost like the wilder side of, like, this Magician looks very kind of, how can you put it, very kind of staid and very, very kind of tame in a way. What's the word? I don't want to say domesticated, but it's kind of that kind of energy, that kind of very domesticated, very kind of organized. Whereas this feels like it's not. Like this is chaos, but it is organized chaos. It's like the two working together. Again, it feels like this masculine and feminine dynamic within yourself kind of working together here, Gemini. And breakthrough as well. It kind of feels like a breakthrough about something. The Magician, this one kind of feels like it's a bit stuffy and a bit kind of traditional in a way. And this kind of, yeah, like I was saying, it feels wild and free, and like the energy is just kind of plugged in. But it's also saying to me, like, you know, there's a need to work with the two energies together. Again, the balance here. Working with things together. There's a lot of that in this reading, Gemini. A lot of twos of everything. A real duality reading. So it's kind of like a sense of like knowing, or maybe on the outside, like showing the persona that you show on the outside is this kind of magician, kind of very together, acceptable energy, but inside there's this kind of wild energy that wants to break free, maybe here. Experience a little bit of non-conformity, perhaps. Again, going your own way and doing your own thing. But at the same time, kind of knowing you have to, on some level, fit in to the society around you, even though what you're doing is not conventional. Is how it's coming through. And then we have over the top of your Chariot card here in your hopes and fears, Gemini, we have the 10 of discs. In reverse again. 10 of discs is about that ultimate completion, that ultimate kind of culmination of something, of bringing something into a place of success and finality and kind of nowhere else to go with it, particularly when it's in reverse. It kind of feels a bit like a dead end. Like all these people gathered together all kind of achieved what they come together to achieve. So now they either have to carry on, do something new, or they have to kind of break up and go off and do other things elsewhere, is kind of the energy I'm getting from this. But it is in reverse. And it is just in your hopes and fears. And it could also have something to do with the fact that you still, like, you know, you have those moments of doubt that you're not going to get here. You're not going to get to the final achievement, shall we say. But then it's like, you know, is there a final achievement? What is that final achievement? Because when you get to the end of that final achievement, you just have to kind of start over again. But with this Chariot in reverse as well, it does feel as though something is kind of, or it feels for you, Gemini, as though something is kind of blocking this path at the time, or things have really slowed down. Or maybe you're hoping on some level that things aren't going to kind of run away with you too quickly. That you will get to the kind of the finishing line is what I'm getting, that you're going to get to the finishing line. It's almost like the goal or the finishing line. But you have this fear or this worry that you're going to stumble as you get to the end of it, possibly, or near the end of it. Again, with the Chariot, the two horses, again, the balance. I missed that earlier, but the two horses for me kind of represent, again, the dark and the light, the shadow energy and the kind of positive energy, shall we say. Bringing the two together to keep the balance in order to kind of move forward, because if the two energies are off in different directions, and the Chariot gets kind of stuck in the middle of nowhere. And just so many dual energies here. It's kind of crazy. For some of you, the Ten of Discs could also be to do with family or friends as well. I'm feeling that maybe there's some people that you're going to have to kind of leave behind along the way. That not everybody's going to get to the end of this with you. And that it's not for everybody as well. Like, it's not, everybody's not going to want to put their energy into this, whatever this is, Gemini, for you. But the outcome that you have with the Six of stones, pentacles, earth again, is the Nine of Cups, which is a great card to finish on, because this is about fulfillment. This is about your dreams, your desires, your wishes, all happening, all coming true. Pleasure, enjoyment, like celebration, like yay. Yay, we've got there, or I've got there, I've got to that point. And this, again, could be something that you are creating within that physical domain. But it's just this sense of it feels like, yeah, just celebrating, just knowing now that you can relax and celebrate and enjoy. Enjoy where you've reached, where you've got to. I don't know if you can hear that very high-pitched noise which is coming through. I don't know where it's coming through from, but it's incredibly high-pitched. It could well be somebody's car alarm. But it is very loud in my ear. I don't know if you can hear it on there. If you can, I do apologise again. There's nothing I can do about it. So I'm going to pull you keepers of light. Mercury, as you know, is retrograde, and my brain isn't on full full sparking, less so than usual. Mercury retrograde has been a doozy already, and it still hasn't finished. Absolute doozy. So, for Mercury, Sun, Moon, Venus, Rising and Cusp energy. Oh, before I forget Cusp, Geminis, you will be at the 0 point of Gemini coming out of the Taurus energy, and the other end of your sign is going to be the 29 degrees point, moving into the Cancer energy. So you may want to check out the readings that I put up, both for the Taurus energy I put up a while back, and also for the Cancer energy that I will be putting up as well. Both of the Gemini and the Cancer readings will be up as well, for the love readings, I should say. So a card, please, source energy for Gemini. Sun, Moon, Venus, Rising and Cusp energy of Gemini. What is the energy that Gemini is working with at this time? Who is working with Gemini at this time? Almost. Who is working with Gemini energetically at this time? On an energetic level. Who is working with Gemini? Nobody. Normally works. Okay, so we have Kuan Yin, care and compassion. Choose to be love, do what is right for everyone involved, offer a helping hand. And it did come out in reverse, and that literally means, when it comes out in reverse, that the reading, or the message should I say, is important, more important than here we go, than when it's upright. So it's like saying, really take notice of what this is saying. So Kuan Yin, sometimes called Kuan Yin, don't know what difference that is, either a Q or a K, is a bodhisattva, meaning a Buddha-like being, and the goddess of mercy, compassion and love. Though she's acknowledged in Buddhism and the traditions of China, she goes beyond religion and warms the hearts of all who call on her. She has a strong connection to healing energy, in particular Reiki, and encourages people to offer care, forgiveness and compassion to themselves and others. Compassion is about recognizing the spirit in others. It's about seeing that they come from the same source as you do. And the extended message here is, first of all, the keepers of the light want to acknowledge all the service and commitment you have offered to others. You are all love. If you are finding it difficult with anyone at the moment, the best way you can move forward is to go beyond wanting to understand why or how they are the way they are. Just move beyond their behaviour, mistakes and challenges. And that's what I'm feeling about this energy here, as I was saying earlier. I have to put it up the right way. This Emperor energy. I feel as though this Emperor energy has had quite a strong control on your life, Gemini, whether you are aware of it or not. This card brings a message of friendship and care, helping you see that those around you do have the best intentions, even if it doesn't always seem that way. Move into compassion and develop a greater understanding. This will elevate your spirit and connection to love. And lastly, we'll just see what the angels of light would like to say as well for Gemini. Sun, Moon, Venus, Rising and cusp energy of Gemini. What is the message or messages for Gemini, please? Source energy. Source of all that is, all that has ever been, and all that is yet to be. What is the message for Gemini at this time? Sometimes it takes a while. Gemini, Sun, Moon, Venus, Rising and cusp energy for Gemini, please. And what is it Gemini needs to know at this time? Again, nothing. Aha! Abundance, which very much goes along with this Six of Pentacles, Six of Stones, success energy. It is time for your life to flow with prosperity, love and success. You draw from the limitless universal pool, which is interesting because they're all dancing and diving around that pool there. From the universal pool, according to your belief in how much you deserve. Angel wisdom is reminding you now to believe in yourself and trust that you deserve more. Then you will attract abundance and true riches of life. To feel surrounded by love, open your heart to others. Choose to do what fulfills you most, and the angels will bring you joy, satisfaction and success. And that's kind of what I was getting from this energy as well. This Daughter of Cups, just kind of being carefree and doing what you want for your emotional well-being. Enhance your prosperity by receiving graciously, giving out willingly and saying thank you for everything. Enjoy all you have and more will come to you. Affirmation: I deserve love, prosperity and success. So, kind of similar messages, similar energies. Very nice, Gemini. So I'm going to leave your reading there and say thank you very much for listening and watching. I do hope that you have got something out of it. If you have, if you've learned anything, if it has been of any benefit to you, please could you thumbs it up for me, as it helps to get it out into the bigger, broader YouTube world where other people can get to see it. Hopefully come back to my channel and hopefully watch my videos and also subscribe to my channel, which is really what I'm trying to do at the moment, is get more people to subscribe so that my channel can grow. So if you haven't subscribed yet, please could you also do that. It will really be appreciated. And also thank you very much to those of you who have subscribed and have already liked my videos and have already shared them as well. Please feel free to share my videos. Again, if you know of anybody who you feel may benefit from it, or if there's anything in it that you think that is going to help them learn something, etc., please let them know about my channel as well. So when you tap on the subscribe button, you know that there will be this little bell that pops up and you can decide whether to tap it or not. If you tap it, you will get told as and when my videos get put out there. I am trying to stay on top of it all at the moment. We just had that massive Uranus-Saturn square which took place yesterday. Uranus is in Taurus, so it's in my sign. So it's kind of still squaring things in my own personal astrology. So a bit of a battle going on at the moment, but I am trying to get here and do it on a more regular basis. With all of that being said, please take really good care of yourselves at this time, Gemini, and hopefully I will see you again soon.